Yeah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Cikal Playground of Learning Journey. We are here for our Cikal Bincang session with our very own special talent. This is Putri Lakisha Desire and Asha Kayana Pramaswari. Um, I'm the host. I'm the moderator. My name is Aditya Nugraha Wardana. I'm the science teacher for middle school in Cikal Setu. And I'm going to introduce yourself, give you a brief glimpse to our session for the next hour. So we have here Asha. Hi, Asha.
Hi.
Hi, Keisha.
Hello.
Hi. These two lovely young ladies are year 8 students from our year 8 in Cikal Setu. So they're going to tell us something about their project in science, which is something about diets. Am I correct? Yeah, right. Okay. So you're going to talk about different types of diets and how they're going to, benefit to your body, and hopefully our very own guests and audience can try it for themselves because I heard that one of you or some of you have tried the diets for yourself. Is that correct? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to be silent. I'm going to continue the session and I'm going to give away the session itself to these two lovely talents, Asha and Keisha, because they have something interesting and something I think is going to be very beneficial for all of us. Go ahead, take it from here, Asha and Keisha. Thank you.
So we pre-recorded a podcast explaining about our essay and our project. So Keisha's going to be presenting the podcast.
Okay, I will be presenting the podcast now. Okay. Can you see the podcast? Okay. I'll start it. Hi, my name is Keisha.
And my name is Asha. Welcome to our podcast, Diets for a Healthy Pursuit. Here we are going to discuss on what we have learned on Term 1 Science.
So we created an essay about diets for Term 1 in science that we can explore and choose from. And we each have various diet themes that we will address. So how was your experience and your chosen diet for this essay, Asha?
So my chosen diet is vegan diet, which is avoiding the consumption of animal products in the diet. How about you, Keisha? What is your chosen diet?
My diet is called the Pescetarian Diet, which is close to the vegan diet, but it allows us to consume more foods. So my diet includes salmon and other fish, crabs, squids, shrimps, and a variety of other seafood. So do you want to describe about your journey?
Sure, to describe my food experiment, I began my day with fruit salad consisting of frozen strawberries, mangoes, and grapes, and I continued with lunch, which consisted baked tofu with carrots, chickpeas, and broccoli as a side dish. I ended the meal with dinner with eating a whole wheat pastas, and I also made snacks in between meals such as seaweed crisp, sliced pear, and popcorn. How about you?
Well, besides eating fish for the pescatarian diet, there are also a few alternatives for a meat source or beef replacement, which is red beans, tempeh, and so much more. And if I usually get bored with my frozen foods, that are consuming vegetables and salmons, we can explore more by usually I go to a restaurant called Bird Greens. It's a plant-based restaurant that includes and educates others to be vegan in a fun way. And it is also can be a restaurant for pescatarians. And usually for breakfast, I eat yogurt with strawberries and bananas with a glass of milk and water. And in lunch, I eat tempeh with rice and kale. And in dinner, I eat smoked salmon with mashed potatoes, carrots, and green beans with garlic. And usually, I bought my ingredients from fish markets. There are a lot of fish markets in North Jakarta, which are fresh. And you can also buy vegetables and fishes from your local grocery store. And usually I bought my ingredients from All Fresh. It is a place near Cilandak Town Square. And usually I buy my fruits from Jakarta Fruit Market. It is similar to All Fresh, but it's mostly fruits. Yeah, and basically grocery stores or any markets that have fish and vegetables and fruits. And the important thing is you don't eat meat. And how about you, Asha? Where do you buy your ingredients for your diet?
For me, I buy my ingredients in general supermarkets like Hypermart, which is very close to my house, or I usually pick options in restaurants that are vegan or something that doesn't consist of animal products, which takes a lot of time.
Well, that was very interesting, Sha. Let's talk about the reasons why people would do this diet.
Well, for starters, people do the vegan diet generally to avoid animal products where they don't like the fact that they have to end the life of a conscious being simply to eat their food, drink their milk, or wear their skin, particularly where there are alternatives available. Vegans also don't agree with the fact that animals may suffer psychological and physical stress from modern farming practices. Others prefer veganism for its possible health benefits, such as how it can minimize the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and premature death. It also lowers the risk of Alzheimer's disease and etc. The vegan diet is also known as the biggest single way of growing our own effects on the planet because studies showed that removing meat and dairy products from your diet could decrease carbon footprint of a person from food by up 73%. You will not only save 30 animals' lives by going vegan for a month, but also 620 pounds of toxic carbon dioxide. Well, enough of vegan diet. We should move on to the pescatarian diet.
Well, people may do this pescatarian diet because of opposing slaughter. People do not want to kill farm animals. And in human agriculture practice, where they refuse to help factory farms that grow animals under inhuman conditions, and also the bad working conditions to stop the companies that refuse to help farm that have unsafe conditions for their workers, and also humanitarian reasons, which is minimize the amount of meat you consume because there's so much hunger in the world. And it's also one step of becoming vegan or a phase that people who wants to be vegan can follow or choose. Shall we talk about the benefits and disadvantages of the diet?
Sure. Doing the vegan diet is harder than it looks because it takes time to prepare the meal and find the food that is required to make the meal. Although there are good benefits such as health potential will increase because the vegan diet is cholesterol free and low in fat, which makes me feel better in eating a lot of food. Vegan diet, as mentioned, is the biggest single way of growing your effects on the planet that could decrease the carbon footprint of a person from food by up to 70%, which makes me feel better that I am participating in making the world slightly better, I guess. How about you, Keisha?
Yeah, however, the positive impacts, there's also the negative impacts. But with the positive, pescatarians have a lower risk of having diabetes, and pescatarian may also protect people against colorectal cancers or cancers that affect the colon and rectum. It could also reduce the risk of eating farm animals. And the negative impacts are that pescatarians were at 13% lower risk of heart disease than meat eaters, but also had a 20% higher stroke rate than meat eaters. And a pescatarian needs to have the courage or skill to experiment on their foods that they can eat. And if you're not really creative on your food, it might be a little boring or a little hard to be pescatarian. And since we have covered on the vegan and the pescatarian diet, now we'll explain the brief history of each diet, and we'll start with you, Asha.
Here's a backstory about the vegan diet. It was called the Pythagorean diet for many years, then the modern vegetarian movement began in the mid-1800s. After that, they become popular in the 2000s, and veganism is far from popularity is in previous years. In November 1944, Donald Watson, founder of the Vegan Society, coined the word vegan as a statement against vegetarians who ate dairy products. He took the first and last letters of the vegetarian to create his orthodox version of veganism. In conclusion, the vegan diet is like when we build a house using the common materials such as bricks, wood, and metal, but there are many alternatives like bamboos, straw bales, and etc. This analogy shows that there are many alternatives to common things, same as vegan diet, where it's mainly about alternatives that could be better for the environment and for ourselves, such as when we eat normally, we eat meat, but instead we can eat tofu and tepe.
So we're going to explain about the history of the pescatarian diet. So before the pescatarian diet existed, the first diet was Asha's diet, which is the vegan or the vegetarian diet. So veganism is an extreme type of vegetarian or vegetarianism, and while the term was coined in 1944, the principle of flesh avoidance can be traced back to ancient Indian and Eastern Mediterranean cultures. And in 1944, the vegetarians or the veganisms who did not eat any animals or their ingredients started to call themselves the vegans. And those who eat fish but no other meat preferred pesce, and the Italian word for fish, to use the phrase pescatarian. The same year, meatarian or meatitarian was used as a term for those whose diet was primarily based on pescatarian. So basically, the creator of the inventor of the pescatarian diet started with the vegan diet, and for the people who want to have a practice or a first phase of practicing the vegan diet, or a first phase is to do the pescatarian diet. Sadly, it is not that stated on who actually created this idea, but is more improvised or an improv diet with the vegan diet. So the analogy of this pescatarian diet is like when we're at a flower shop and it contains roses, tulips, dandelions, but we only pick the tulips and the dandelions because we're trying to avoid the roses, just like the pescatarian diet where we only eat the sea creatures or the fish, fruits, and vegetables, and not the farm animals. This analogy shows that the pescatarian diet is an alternative for us to only eat fish, fruits, and vegetables. So by avoiding the roes or eating meat, it could have a huge impact or slight impact on ourselves and the environment because the diet is erasing the meat just like chicken, pork, beef. So besides that, you can eat anything what you want, and there are so many other options. Although it seems simple to remove one element of the circle of food, it is hard when we are traveling because some restaurants still use beef or chicken stock in their dish and their meals. So before you go, I suggest having a table of breakfast, lunch, and dinner about the pescatarian diet, and you have to do a lot of research for this.
In the beginning of our project, we interviewed a nutrition therapist named Pat David Gunawan. He basically explains the whole digestive system in each of the function for the organs that are involved in the digestive system. But David also mentioned that our digestive system is basically like a factory that has a lot of processing to do. But David also explained that the intestinal bacteria flora is important to the homeostasis in the body. Not only do they break down food so that nutrition can be ingested, they also contain vitamins such as biotin and vitamin K, and they protect against harmful bacteria that enter the system.
Basically, after we explained about the digestive system, our chosen diet, the conclusion, and the guest speaker, we have to present our essay to our friends, similar to this podcast right now that you're listening. We explained about a brief summary about the digestive system, which is what Asha said earlier, a journey on how our food went to our body and to the end of the line. And also, we have to present, while presenting, our friends may ask questions about our chosen diet and how they work, and basically the main idea about our diet. And also, they have to share their experiences on the essay and the history of their chosen diet, because there are many diets in this world, and that by sharing the information to each other, we can share knowledge, and we can also maybe do their diets one day. And it is a great way to interact, which is the call and the sharing session that we had at the end of the essay. And yeah, collecting the informations may be hard, and this is Asha's experience.
Okay, since we have covered all of the information, I feel like overall, I think you guys as listeners should try both of our diets due to the fact that it can help you in many different ways. Try both of our diets since it's a bit similar, and it can help you in different ways. Only if you have the time to prepare each meal though, because it does take a while to find the ingredients and stuff. Finally, I believe that performing this assignment pushes us to do more research, but because that we have to perform research, it was more difficult to discover sites that provided the information. Okay, so I think that is also hard is researching the diet menu for the essay. So for example, I had to research fresh produce, frozen produce that are vegan, whole grains that are vegans, and then there's bread and pastas, protein sources like nuts, almond cashews, hazelnut, macadamia nuts, peanuts, pistachios, and then there's seeds like chia seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds. And then there's legumes like black beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, and etc. And there's also soy products like tempeh, tofu, and then there's protein powders, and there's dairy alternative like almond milk, coconut milk, and plant-based milk instead of dairy milk. And there's healthy fats that I have to research, such as coconut oil that contains almond milk and adding water to the almond butter. There are snacks that I had to research, such as edamame, that is an immature soybean in the pod. There's dark chocolate made out of cocoa beans from cacao trees, and there's roasted chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, and then I had to research condiments and spices such as cayenne pepper that came from capsicum, and then there's garlic, and then paprika and pepper, and basically everything that I had to research on the food that could be useful for everyone's diet menu or activity. So I think that's one of the hardest things that I have to research and make a list out of. But yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with your explanation. And similar to Asha's, actually, for me, it is difficult to find some information, such as the history of the diet, where to buy the foods of the chosen diets, and many more. And however, before we started this assignment, I myself have actually done the diet before, which is the pescatarian diet, and I'm quite familiar on how the diet works and how it could benefit us. So for me, the pescatarian diet is a great way for beginners to start their diet process for being vegan or just being pescatarian and try something new. So we're going to explain the benefits of each food or products that we can eat if we're a pescatarian and the first step or the first stage of being vegan. So first we can eat any type of fish. It is stated that fish is filled with omega-3 fatty acids and vitamins such as D and B2. Fish is abundant in the calcium and phosphorus and a rich source of minerals such as iron, zinc, iodine, magnesium, and potassium. The American Heart Association suggests that eating fish at least twice a week and part of a balanced diet is good for you. So make sure to eat fish at least twice a week if you can, if you have the time, because it's good for you. And vegetables. Vegetables are an essential source of nutrients, including potassium, dietary fiber, folic acid, vitamin A, and vitamin C. Potassium-rich diets can help maintain high blood pressure. Also, fruits. Fruits are an important source of essential vitamins and minerals and are high in fiber. Fruits can have a wide variety of health-enhancing antioxidants and including flavonoids, and eating a diet rich in fruit and vegetables will also reduce the risk of developing heart disease, cancer, inflammation, and diabetes. Also, we can eat dairy products as a pescatarian. Dairy products are a good source of calcium, and this is the one that has the main reason on the USDA and the National Institute of Health, NIH, and suggests people to drink milk. Dairy provides other essential, which is bone health nutrients such as phosphorus, and magnesium, and vitamin D, and a calcium asha. And beans and legumes is also a vegetable, but it could also have benefits. So most beans are low in fat too, and legumes are similar to meat in nutrients, but with lower amounts of iron and no saturated fats. It is said that high proteins in legumes makes them a great choice of place of meat and dairy products. Now we're not done. We have two more, which is whole grains and eggs. So whole grains. Fiber-rich whole grains will make you feel full during the day and have been linked to better control of blood, sugar, and both heart, intestine health. So it has many benefits with the whole grains. Whole grains is similar to, this is not sponsored, similar to Fit Bar, which is a bar that can make you full. And yeah. The last one is that we got eggs. Eggs are a rich protein of yolk that is filled in special antioxidants that are effective in reducing inflammation and enhancing a variety of health factors. They also contain a significant amount of vitamins that support everything from bone health to brain function. So we're going to have a little break and we're going to discuss about the digestive system, me and Asha. And yeah. Hello guys, welcome back to this session with me, Keisha, and Asha, woohoo. So now we're going to discuss about the digestive system, and we're going to discuss it together, and I'm going to hand you all over to Asha. Go ahead, Asha.
Before we start explaining, the reason we needed to know about this information is because nutrition is important for the digestive system due to the fact that our body needs nutrition from food and drink to work properly and stay healthy. Okay, so we're both going to be explaining the basics of the digestive system, and the digestive system has many phases. And I will be explaining the phases hopefully in a detailed way for you guys to understand. So let's start. The first thing that you do is you chew. And by chewing, you destroy or demolish the food particles into smaller pieces. And not only there is saliva, when a person chews, there's these neurons that also send messages to the brain about the consistency of the food, how much force it generates, the size of the food, and how much does the jaw needs to open. These signals are picked up by neurons that generate rhythmic behaviors such as chewing, breathing, and walking. The saliva also breaks down food too because it has many enzymes in it. What happens after you chew is that the food goes to the long pipe known as the esophagus. The esophagus is located in your throat to the stomach. After the food particles or the food itself that you are going to digest goes to the esophagus, it goes to your stomach and chill for a while there. And what's going on in the stomach is that the stomach holds our food about 4 until 6 hours, and it will release enzymes and acids to be absorbed by your body. You might be wondering why our enzymes are at our stomachs. One of them are called pepsin. The pepsin also breaks down the protein in your stomach. The stomach also breaks down all of the negative or bad bacteria in your belly so that we won't get sick. The stomach is the main component of the digestive system. Not only that it consumes food, but it also stores it. According to the BBC, the stomach can hold a little more than a quarter or 1 liter of the food at once. You basically know the food goes to your tummy, but where else? After they get demolished, the meal goes to the stomach where it travels to the smaller intestine. There'll be juices that will be formed from the liver and the pancreas that will break down particles. The liver delivers what is called bile, and it disintegrates fats, and the pancreas. So let's go to the enzyme to help digest all of the food what we eat.
So I'll be taking over. So before the large intestine, these are the things that you need to know that are from the small intestine. So the duodenum is a short segment that is the portion of the small intestine that holds semi-digested food, the stomach through the pylorus, and it brings the process of digestion. So the duodenum has also used bile from the gallbladder, liver, and the pancreas to help you absorb food. Jejunum is the middle segment of the small intestine that carries food by quickly, wave-like muscle contractions into the ileum. So the microvilli and the cells on the villi that are packed fully of tiny hair-like structures called microvilli. This allows us to increase the surface area of each cell, which means that each cell can absorb the most nutrients. So fruity small intestines is shorter than the large intestine. It is caused the longest portion of the digestive system tract and about 22 feet, about 7 meters in size, which is very long, and about 3.5 times the length of your body. So after we absorb all of the food particles that are demolished, some of them are shifted to our body, which is transferred into the blood. I know. And remember about the food particles that are transferred into your blood. What happens when the other particles that did not get to join the gang or the group to be in the blood? Well, they are about to go to the large intestine. So let's go to the large intestine. Yay. The large intestine is about 5 feet or 1.5 meters long. The large intestine is far larger than the small intestine and follows a large straighter course across the belly or the abdomen. And the aim of the large intestine is to absorb water and salts from the minerals that have not been digested as food and to eliminate any waste products left over. So basically disappears and it's being absorbed. The anus is the core of the gastrointestinal tract. When the rectum is full, the body feels the need to pass the intestines. The internal anal sphincter relaxes and moves the stool from the rectum and the anal canal. So, in simple words, all of the food that we ate earlier goes to the end of the line or goes to the end of the journey, which is called poop. And yeah, that is the digestive system.
Oh, well, that's it. We hope you enjoy this podcast on diets for a healthy pursuit.
And may everyone and you all have a wonderful day. And thank you for listening. Yay.
Bye.
So that was our podcast about our diets and the digestive system.
Okay, and we're back. Audience, how's the podcast by Ash and Keisha? I personally have to thank you guys because I found it very interesting and it has a lot of new information that is, I think, is going to be beneficial for our health and overall our lifestyle. Um, well, I myself found it very enlightening because I need to lose my weight also, especially after the Idul Fitri holiday. So, yeah, your choices of diets can help me lose my weight, whether it's the vegan diet or the pescatarian diet. I found it interesting because there are two different types of diet that we discuss here, but there are some variation to them also. Like if you have no meat, but you can still have fish or eggs if you're a pescatarian. Vegan, you don't have to be go full vegan, but there's also some tolerance, like something like that. So it's very interesting. It can be modified and adjust to our bodily needs and requirements, something like that. Okay, we're going to open our Q&A session. Uh, I hope that there will be some questions in case some of you from the audience still have some things confused about. I'll start with the first question. This is personal question, but yeah, I mean, I'm the science teacher for middle school, and I'm curious, uh, why did you make this topic? Like, why did you discuss about diets? I mean, is it for a project of a program, for example? If it is, what are the requirements that the teacher needs from you? Go ahead, Asha or Keisha can answer.
This was a science project that we had on term one. And we basically have to do our own research about our own top the diet that we chose. So yeah.
Yeah, same like Asha, we actually explored many diets. There's variety of diets, and we have to choose one. Asha's the vegan, and I'm the pescatarian diet, and we really have to dig in on that information and the diet itself. So it's really a personal thing. Like you have to deep in into the whole diet and our health and how it affects and many more.
Okay, I heard about something about carbon footprint that you discussed earlier in our session. Can you explain that and how it relates to our diet types? Either Asha or Kesha can answer.
Wait, but can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I heard about something about carbon footprint that you discussed at the beginning of our session. You related with your diet. How is it related? I mean, what is carbon footprint anyway? Right? Go ahead.
For example, doing the vegan diet is also known as the biggest single way to grow an effect on our planet, because if we remove meat and dairy products from our diet, it could decrease our carbon footprint up to 73%.
Yeah, and also there's a variety of food that we don't eat anymore, like meat, but like cows, like chickens, pork, and sheep, and many more. And then the industrial like history or journey, it affects on how on the food that we eat, and yeah, it affects the carbon footprint, and yeah.
Fascinating, fascinating. Um, Next, we have some question from our YouTube channel. Say hello to our YouTube channel and our audience. We have a question from the Pustakawan. Is this diet routine for a certain age or for any age? Because I heard different age has different metabolism. Go ahead.
Oh, it actually depends on each person because we all have different health issues or health with like everyone. And for the pescatarian diet, I think it's more flexible than the vegan diet because we can eat meat, but fish and like seafood, but not mammals. And I think it depends to you because you know your body, and there's no specific age in Google where you type how old should I be if I'm going to be a pescatarian. It's up to you, and if you're ready for it, go for it. And I suggest you do it if you're ready. Yeah.
For vegan diet, I actually did research about this a while back ago. It says, well, based on some advisor about the vegan diet, you should start during your like preteen if you can, like if you want like 11 to 18-year-old, but it's really up to you. If you, like as Keisha said, if you feel ready about it, you can go ahead. There's no rules if you want to or not. Just be cautious about how your body reacts to the diet itself, and yeah.
So it's important to have informed decision maybe. Yeah. So we have to research because each person is unique. So we just have to know our unique requirement. Okay. Next, there's another question. Um, oh, for Asha and Keisha, what are the personal challenges that you face during the process of you did the diets yourself, right? You tried the diet. So, what were the personal challenges that you find during the process? Go ahead.
Personally, I have a hard time adjusting towards the diet. So, for example, if I'm really hungry, I have to rethink when I'm getting snacks and stuff. Is this vegan or is this not? And if I don't have anything vegan, I have to go shopping, which could take a while, and I would just get hungry for a long time. And I guess that's part of the challenge.
Yeah, same like Asha actually. Like if we want to eat certain foods, it will be very hard for us to like, oh, it has meat in it and I can't eat this. And if you're a family gathering, like or friends or family gathering, and then they suggest you eat in this certain restaurant or certain meal, and then you just realize that it's not pescatarian or it's not vegan, and you're like, oh no, and then like that's really hard. And personally, I tried the pescatarian diet for about 3 months, and it was really hard for me because I miss meat. I miss eating cows and chicken, and like burgers and stuff like that. But I have to be creative, which is very hard on like the food I should eat. Like I have to search YouTube channels on how like the replacement of meat, how we can turn like red beans into a source of meat. And yeah, it's really hard to be creative.
I think you have be resourceful in doing some of the menu, if not all. Yeah, I mean like, uh, yeah, I mean you can be bored if you don't have meat for a period of time. So yeah, I think you have to be resourceful and creative for the whole time. Asha and Keisha, how long did you try the diet yourself?
I only lasted for 2 weeks. I didn't really want to keep going after 2 weeks, but yeah, I did it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I did it about like 3 months because I was bored and I have nothing to do. It was like something new. And yeah, after that, I didn't actually try that again. Maybe for like a week or days, but like it doesn't last very long for me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I congratulate on your. I mean, I applaud on your attempt on doing this. That's because I myself, you know, perhaps not going to last a week or something like that. But I'll try if it's possible. Okay, next we have a question from our own live audience. There's Tanisha Gaisani. Hi Tanisha, can you open your mic and camera and we're going to have your question. Go ahead.
Hi, I really like your presentation, both of you. So I've always wanted to try out a diet, and I found out that the pescatarian and vegan diet is very, very interesting. As a beginner, which one do you guys recommend more, the vegan or the pescatarian, considering the challenges that we'll face?
Oh, the pescatarian because we can eat more things. We can also like drink dairy or eat dairy. You can do eggs. And I think it's like one of the steps for us to becoming a vegan. So if you really want to be a vegan when you grow up or just being a pescatarian, I think it's a great way to start with the pescatarian diet. Yeah, I think it's more easy.
Yeah, the pescatarian diet has less limitations, so you could kind of cheat your way into vegan diet. So yeah, I think pescatarian should try first. So.
Okay, Tanisha, are you interested in trying one or both diets? Which one are you interested more?
Yeah, I'm very interested in both of them, so I might consider to do it like both of them. Maybe in first week I'll try the pescatarian since you guys said it was much easier, and then if I'm much fluent in doing the diet, I'm going to try out the vegan.
Nice, nice, nice. Looking forward for your result, Tanisha. Okay. Um, I think we have two questions left. Is it one or two? We'll go with the first one. For Asha and Keisha, what are your personal hopes about this diet? I mean, for your audience, how would you persuade your audience into trying these diets? What is it good for? Go ahead.
I hope that you guys may try this diet or somehow like do a little research of it. Maybe you're like interested on like how it works on like the detailed version or thing. And yeah, maybe like share this info or like it's actually like an honor for us to like share this information to you guys. So I think yeah, that's already a good thing.
Same as Keisha, I think that this podcast, we hope that this could help you like nudge your way into trying new diets, including vegan and pescatarian diets, or even other diets that we haven't mentioned yet. So yeah.
Nice, nice. I mean, it's very beneficial for, yeah, everyone or anyone who wants to try it. Yes. Oh, we have another question from YouTube. This one comes from Danariski. Hi, Danariski. It says, do you have any problems in socializing with others? I mean, your way of eating is different from others. Does that uh, affect your eating habit when you go out and hang out with others? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
personally, for me, when I was a pescatarian, it was hard for me to go with my cousins or with my family because they really want to eat like chicken or meat, like cow or any mammals and stuff like that. And I really struggle at that because at the menu usually there's no fish option, so I usually eat at home first or like I brought something or go to another restaurant, but it's like really sad, but it doesn't stop me from socializing with them, but not now because I can't really go anywhere.
Well, for me personally, it doesn't really affect how I socialize with people because when we eat, we really don't focus on like what we eat. We just eat, just to, feel ourselves better. And also, I feel like it's harder for me to stop eating meat when everyone else is eating meat. So, yeah, that's probably the main problem with socializing or eating with other people, like limiting myself into not eating those stuff that is not in my diet. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm checking the question list, and I think we are done with the questions. I'm going to close the Q&A session for our Cikal Bincang-Bincang. Um, Asha and Keisha, I want you to have a closing statement before I have my own closing statement. Like, uh, what important points that we can learn from these different types of diet, like vegan and pescatarian. Go ahead.
Um, um, well, for me, uh, I don't force you all to do this diet because you can do whatever you want to do, but um, I'm just telling you that there are other options, like except for like always meat and stuff like that, and there are fun ways to do the pescatarian, also the vegan diet. And I think like do more research of this diet will be also cool or like fun. And yeah, I think yeah, hopefully this session is somehow cool for you or like informational.
Yeah, so same like Keisha, we just hope I think this podcast or this session will help you open your mind a little bit of some other diets that you could try. And hopefully the information of the benefits and the disadvantages could like help you inform on what to expect on being vegan or pescatarian or maybe other diets that have the same challenges as us. So yeah.
Thank you, Asha and Keisha. I think for those who are late or just want to re-listen to your podcast, you may copy and paste the link, yeah, to the chat, and it can be forwarded to our audience. For myself as the moderator, I think the conclusion that we can have for our session on vegan and pescatarian diet is that they have their own advantages and disadvantages. So it may not be suitable for everyone, but uh, yeah, I mean, it's our job to be responsible for our own bodies. So let's research and let's be informative before we make our decision on which type of diet that we're going to choose to make ourselves healthy. Or if you think you are already healthy enough, perhaps this option is not enough for you. So depends on your requirement and your needs. Last one, it's mentioned that most, if not all, yeah, all of the diet types, especially the pescatarian diet and the vegan diet, they are useful in reducing our carbon footprint, so we can reduce our damage to the environment. So it's amazing to think about diets. Usually we think about our own body, personal gain, but we have social gain and environmental gain by removing the damage that we can do to the environment itself. So good for you and good for the world. I mean, for the planet. Okay, thank you all for those who are here, our audience, both in our live streaming service, our Zoom meeting, and our YouTube channel. Hopefully, this session will be informative and useful for well everyone who listens and watch. And oh, we have special guest here, Tanisha here also. Our live session audience, thank you for coming here and listen and interact with us. I'm going to close this session. Thank you all, Asha and Keisha, for your amazing session. Hopefully, we can have another one next academic year with me as your host. My name is Aditya Nabrawardana. I'm signing off as your moderator. Thank you.